by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Mere days before his upcoming relocation to Denver, Colorado, 4-year Chicago resident Paul Marston admitted today that he wished he had taken a little more time to truly loathe the city he has lived in for nearly half a decade.
You know, I've been here for a couple years, but now that I'm finally leaving, I realize I never really got to hate this place.
Marsden confirmed that in the time he's lived in the city, he never quite managed to explore his own shitty neighborhood, adding that he regrets never getting to know the stuck-up workers at the cafe down the block, never visiting the overpriced bodega on his corner, and never becoming violently ill from the food at the crappy Mexican place across the street from him.
You know, I lived right next to that bar for 4 years, and I just wish I took more time to abhor the disgusting smell that hits you every time you walk by. I'd always heard this place blows. Guess it's a shame I never got to hate it like I should.
For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Yes, it is Free Talk Live. It is the Monday night edition.
No, it's not.
Very good. Richie Rich is paying attention. That's right, it's the Sunday night edition. This Sunday.
Sell him the chair. That's my favorite one.
You'll only need the edge. The telephone number here if you would like to join in the conversation, because that's how radio call and talk shows work.
Well, since we have you, we don't need the edge. Wherever, Mark happens to be.
Ooh.
Oh, snap. Interesting. The telephone number, should you like to call into this call-in talk radio program, is 603-283-6160. Again, 603-283-6160. In the studio tonight, it is myself, the Lord Reverend Dr. Captain Kickass.
Peakless Mountaineer.
And Richie Rich.
I don't know if I said my name in the right order. I think I got it wrong.
It doesn't matter.
You think?
I think with that many titles,
I prefer the order you said them in.
I want to add another
you usually
one.
do Dr. Reverend, and for some reason that just sounds weird to me.
Well, Lord, Dr. Reverend, Captain Kickass is generally what I say, but I threw something else in there today, and I don't remember what it was. Lord,
play back the tape.
Reverend. Yeah. Let's go to the review. There's a booth review.
Let me consult my personal stenographer.
Lord Captain Reverend Kickass.
Violent stenography, not allowed in the studio. We're here, and this is where we are, in case you were wondering.
In the studio.
In the studio. Last night, previously on Free Talk Live.
Ooh, nice callback.
Yes. We barely got to mention this article from mintpressnews.com. We mentioned we had a guest in the studio last night, Mr. Gerhard. Go hard for Gerhard.com.
I love that website, by the way.
I made some reference about it being his slogan being a carryover from when he was a teen, and trying to
impress the ladies,
that kind of thing. He got a kick out of that. At any rate, the U.S. allies drop 46 bombs per day for over 20 years now, according to new Code Pink research.
That's rookie numbers.
Now, there's a bit of consternation.
And that's when we don't run out like we did under Obama.
Well, there's a bit of consternation about numbers in general of how many bombs are being dropped by the U.S. and their allies. Because during the Trump administration, they are still tallying how many bombs that they've shipped over there and dropped, but they're no longer reporting that number to the public.
Yeah, and they're also no longer tallying the number of people killed like they used to.
Right.
Are they finally tallying his tax returns?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. You know, I hope he's paid zero tax, because I would also like to pay zero tax, as well as would many other people, I'm sure. Not even just libertarians, I'm sure. Just regular normies out there who are like, yeah, I'd love to not pay taxes. I'm sure that they're out there.
You should be free not to, if it's voluntary, like they say.
That's correct. But if it's voluntary, then it's not really taxation, is it?
I would think not.
Yeah.
You'd have to come up with a new term.
Yeah, like a payment, a contribution, right? Like you're, you know, when you want to give to a charity, right? There's a couple of
contribution.
Charities, yeah, there's a couple of charities that I give to on an annual basis, and that's what I make a contribution to those charities, because I think they're good causes. But that's neither here nor there. This from Venice, California. The United States and its allies have dropped at least 326,000 bombs and missiles on countries in the greater Middle East since 2001. That is the conclusion of new research by Medea Benjamin and Nicholas Davies of the anti-war group Code Pink. You guys may be familiar with this organization.
See, that sounds like a lot of bombs, but it's hard to like put it into context.
Well, it's 46 per day on average.
Right. But where? Who are they hitting? Who are they targeting?
Let's go continue on with the article and see what they say.
If the trend has continued since they stopped counting, 90% plus innocent civilians.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Which is cause for concern.
The very next paragraph says, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, and Yemen are the countries that have felt the worst of the violence. But Lebanon, Libya, Pakistan, Palestine, and Somalia have also been targeted. The total amounts to an average of 46 bombs dropped per day over the last 20 years. Code Pink's numbers are based primarily on official U.S. military releases, as well as from data from the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, the Yemen Data Project, and the New America Foundation. As striking as the figure of 326,000 bombs is, it is an underestimate.
Jesus.
Why is it an underestimate? Because the Trump administration, as I mentioned earlier, ceased publishing figures of its bombing campaigns in 2020, meaning there is no data for Iraq, Syria, or Afghanistan for either of the previous 2 years. Also not counted are bombs or missiles used in helicopter strikes, AC-130 gunship attacks, strafing runs from U.S. bombers, or any counterinsurgency or counterterrorism operations in other parts of the world. So you're right. 326,000 does seem like a lot, but it's an underestimation.
Yeah. And 46 a day seems like a lot as well, but I go like, that's a lot. How big are these bombs, and how are those countries, pardon the term, not bombed to glass by now? Like, what's left after 46 bombs a day for, any citizens, human beings still living in that area to do anything with?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've not been there, so I can't answer those questions for you.
I don't see a lot of pictures of it online going, this is what it looks like after 46 bombs a day.
Yeah, there's probably very good reason for that.
And for the most part, they didn't exactly start out ahead.
Like, do you remember, I'm old enough to remember Gulf One. And Gulf One was like watching an action movie.
Okay.
Right? They had embedded journalists with
I was in
the
middle military
school
at that time.
Right? So, like, it was super sensationalized. It was war television 24/7. CNN became the war channel. Right? Literally.
Ratings.
It was all war all day. They had graphs and charts and all, the answers to the minute details like you're asking about. Well, what kind of bombs? What yield did they have? Where were they dropped? How did that, blah, blah, blah. What specific areas? They had all of the analysis. It was like, you know how they get carried away with like sports ball with all the charts and graphs and the analysis and statistics and all that kind of stuff? That's what they did to war.
And I think at one point, maybe that was the beginning for the modern media coverage of war, but it seemed to be sensationalized.
No, it stopped.
Okay.
It stopped.
Sure. But what I'm saying is it was sensationalized back then, like the action movie. And then at some point it gets humanized, right? Where it's not like the pictures aren't of us bombing military bases or bad guys over there. It's holy crap, they hit another school. They bombed another wedding. look at all these innocents being targeted, and that's when you no longer see those visuals.
Yeah, if you think for a minute that the government is not controlling the media output from these areas, I think you'd be sadly mistaken. Now, I don't possess any specific evidence of that other than the fact that at one point CNN was the war channel, and now it's not. You don't see any pictures coming out of these places, unless you dig really super deep on the internet. You befriend some people, on a social media page who actually live there and have taken pictures with their own cell phones and that kind of a thing. But that stuff rarely gets published in what's known as the US of A.
Well, if they'd have kept publishing it, you would have seen the same anti-war sentiment that you saw in the late 60s.
Exactly. Another reason for them not to publish any of that. So the article continues. Tough but nice? ? Last week, President Joe Biden gave the order to attack Iraqi militias in Syria, dropping 1.75 tons of bombs. I don't know what that means. Could one bomb be 1.75 tons, I guess?
Yeah. See, again, it's hard to conceptualize those numbers.
Yeah, well, 2,000 pounds of explosives is 1 ton of bombs.
But they dropped 1.75 tons of bombs on a border village, killing 22 people, something that brought cheers from Washington insiders and corporate media pundits alike. The move was reportedly in response to strikes on a U.S. military base in Iraq, bases that last year the Iraqi parliament unanimously demanded be closed. 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live on the way.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Do you feel like your nation, state, or community no longer holds your values? Have you dreamt of a place where people agree that liberty is important and are free to pursue their projects so long as they respect the property of others? There are many people just like you that are discovering freeprivatecities.com. Their social media links are at the upper right of the page at freeprivatecities.com. All skill levels will be needed when the first of the Free Private Cities opens. It's sooner than you think. Stop arguing and build. freeprivatecities.com.
What if the United States and the Soviet Union had fought on land, sea, air, and the astral plane, struggled for dominion across parallel dimensions or on the surface of the moon? What wonders would have been unveiled? What terrors would have haunted mankind from those dark and dismal dimensions? Come closer, peer through a glass darkly, and discover the horrifying alternative visions of World War III from some of today's greatest minds in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Weird World War III. Available now from Baen Books at baenbooks.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 28th through July 4th for Forkfest 2021 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Forkfest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and Forkfest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 28th through July 4th. Where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You can relax and enjoy the camaraderie of like-minded people, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for Forkfest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with fellow Forkfesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the Forkfest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. Mark your calendar for June 28th through July 4th, 2021. We'll see you at forkfest.party. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you appreciate what we do? Help us advertise, market, and promote for just $5 a month at amp.freetalklive.com.
Yes, it is Free Talk Live. It is the, what day is it?
Sunday.
It's the Sunday night edition. The telephone number is 603-2.
Wait, I missed the first part.
83-6160. Again, the full 10 digits.
Let me get my pencil.
6. Say 6.
6
0
0
3
3
2
2
8
8
3
3
6
6
1
1
6
6
0
0.
Everybody get that? Good.
Fabulously entertaining.
Grab a crayon, jot it down on the fridge, whatever you got to do. You can engrave it in your, the back of your gold watch that your grandfather had stepped off his woohoo, from back in the day in the war.
That's how we got it back home.
Whatever you got to do. 603-283-6160. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
Peakless Mountaineer.
And Richie Rich.
We've been talking about this article from mintpressnews.com.
Very credible site.
The title of which, U.S. allies drop 46 bombs per day for 20 years.
Underestimate. Which
is a large underestimate. And they had just finished telling us that, Biden, he gets into office. He promised a whole bunch of things, but what's the first thing he does? He bombs some brown people. That's right.
Yeah, it was interesting watching all the praise that he got for that, too. See, he didn't even talk about it. He wasn't talking smack. He just blew people up.
Okay,
like,
so
really?
I saw some of that, and I interpreted that as a little tongue-in-cheek.
I don't think it is, actually.
Okay. All right.
Like, honestly.
I want to interpret it that way, but I'm with Lee. I don't think that it was.
Okay.
Even if it was intended to be tongue-in-cheek, which I'm sure some people had, but a huge, huge part of why people hated Trump is because he didn't act right. He acted unpresidential.
He bombed them and tweeted about it.
When you are in that place, in that chair, behind that desk, in that office, in that particular mansion, you are supposed to act a very specific way, and none of that involves sending terrible, mean tweets to the leader of North Korea.
To anybody that's confused in our listening audience, I just want to lay it out for you quite simply. There is no way to bomb people with dignity. That's really it. That's the whole thing. Just you can't be a dignified murderer. It's just
they didn't say he was dignified. They just said he wasn't mean on Twitter.
Right? I mean, is that not the definition?
Come on, Captain. Haven't you ever heard of a gentleman spy?
I don't know anybody who spies on gentlemen. Then again, I don't know that I know any gentlemen.
Bazing.
Present company included.
Ooh. Got to get that rim shot fired up.
Ba-dum. At any rate, the article continues. Yesterday, anonymous administration officials claimed that Biden had called off a second Syria strike after being warned that women and children were in the area.
Does that mean they had confirmation that the first strike was like completely devoid of women and children?
Even if it was, so what? Are men's lives worth less than women and children somehow?
I mean, I would hear that argument.
You know? Though no evidence was offered and the officials refused to go on record, corporate media diligently parroted the State Department line, allowing the new administration to simultaneously present itself as getting tough on its enemies and as a champion of human rights. That's right. He has the right to bomb people. How did he get that right? I don't have that right. Do you have that right?
I personally do not have
Do you
that.
have
From
the
the
right?
mandate of the masses.
Do you have the right to bomb people?
I'm pretty sure I could make a list of people that I honestly have the right to bomb. Congress, for starters.
In self-defense.
Well, yes.
Right.
They're currently killing a bunch of
But
people.
not in offense.
Well, no.
Okay.
No, you
But in
so
defense of
has
other
the right
human
to
lives.
offensively.
So if none of us have that right and no other individuals have that right,
Murder's bad,
How does
okay?
a president get the right to bomb?
Constitution. It's in there.
Constitution does not give people rights.
Well, so when I, say steal from you under the threat of kidnapping,
Again?
that's a mugging. That's theft. When they do it, it's taxation. See, different word, totally different moral qualities.
I disagree.
When I kill thousands of people, that's a mass murder. When they kill thousands of people, it's a police action.
We're bombing for humanity. Humanitarian bombing. Yes, because that's not an oxymoron in any way, shape, or
Well,
form.
we've got to secure these areas. Otherwise, some horrible, power-mongering murderers could get in and, kill people.
The article continues, war, 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 and more war. I mean, George Carlin said it best, we're a warlike people. And by we, he means the United States of America and the military. We really like bombing people. In fact, if your country's got some brown people in it, watch the F out. We're probably going to bomb you. The United States has been at war for nearly every year of its existence as an independent nation, fighting in 227 years of its 244-year history.
And winning all of them. Go America.
Yeah, I need to find winning since these wars, since I've been alive, have been never-ending. I would find it hard-pressed to say that they've won anything.
Hey, if it hasn't ended, you can't take the L, man. Just saying.
Well, it's not that we're a war we don't like war. We just had to. And then we just really had to, that one time. And then we had no choice the time after that.
So it's not a good position to be in, but America does position itself globally as like the world police, right? If they're being part of the UN, you're part of that.
America, F yeah.
Right.
Coming again to say the mother effing day, yeah.
Yes. Team America, world police. It's parody, but it's
accurate.
It's accurate.
What I thought was amazing about that movie is that I saw people laughing at it for completely opposite reasons.
Right.
Yeah, that's then that's
like
how you know it's
that
good
was
comedy.
impressive.
Yeah. Well, you get the racist people laughing at the whole mispronunciation of terms and that kind of a thing. Yeah, all of that, which is hilarious, by the way.
But what I'm saying
and
is
then the anti-racist laughing at it for like the depiction of racism.
Right, exactly.
But if you position yourself as the world police and then you see this injustice in this other country, perceived or otherwise, right? If not you, the United States government acting on behalf of those being victimized there, then who would come to their defense?
Who would not?
Well, it's really their own fault. They keep selling things for not American dollars and upsetting the countries that will only sell their important things for American dollars. If Yemen hadn't upset Saudi Arabia so much, we wouldn't be there.
Well, that's true.
If Hussein had just refused to sell oil for anything other than U.S. dollars, we wouldn't have gone into Iraq.
Wait, didn't Gaddafi try to do that and then they took him out?
Yep.
Didn't he try to move away from the USD? And then they were no. Everybody thinks it was something else, but that's really why they went and him out. Was because
but even
he
in
tried to
those
move
cases,
away.
Are you saying that those citizens of that country were happy being led under those rules?
Oh, I don't think anybody is really happy being led by a politician of any kind.
So you got to get them out. And if you're the world police, you get them out.
Yeah, but then what? Replace him with your guy? Yeah, that's not cool either.
After the break.
603-283-6160. Would you vote for Gaddafi?
Carl Watner, longtime proponent of a voluntary society, died last December. You may have seen his articles published on his website, voluntarist.com, in his newsletter, The Voluntarist, the Mises Institute, or elsewhere over the last 40 years. His newest book, I Must Speak Out, Volume 2, The Best of the Voluntarist, is now available via Liberty Under Attack Publications. This 430-page second volume spans the years of 2000 through 2020 and includes articles by Carl Watner, Hans Hermann Hoppe, Karl Hess, Benjamin Tucker, George H. Smith, Lysander Spooner, Pete Eyre, Joyce Brand, and many others. I Must Speak Out is for the newly initiated, the veteran voluntarist, or anywhere in between. Buy the book now at libertyunderattack.com/voluntarist. For more great content on building a voluntary society and for Carl's extensive archives, check out voluntarist.com.
A Japanese-American internment facility was still in operation in the mountains of Northern California. The facility should have been closed in 1945 and its 6,000 residents released, but unfortunately the camp was overlooked until this week. I am happy to announce, however, that the remaining 118 detainees have now been fully exonerated of suspicion of spying for General Tojo, and they have been freed. Next item of business. The President will be meeting with the Australian Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd. Yes, Denise?
This is a huge oversight. How could this have happened?
Well, Denise, it looks like the camp just somehow slipped through the cracks. The end of the Second World War was a hectic time in America, and it's only natural that we let a couple of things slip in our excitement over defeating the Nazis.
Who was going to be held responsible for this? Congressional investigation?
No, there won't. In fact, the War Relocation Authority was responsible for the decommissioning of the internment facilities, but that organization ceased to exist in 1946, so no.
This is the Onion News Network.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means, stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding